guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Modesty33 here, aka Crystal with the C, back at you with another video. But if you're new to my channel, you just happen to click on welcome. I try to put out at least 2 videos a week. I do sit downs, reactions, reviews, vlog videos. So if any of those things interest you, make sure you check out my channel. And if you see any videos or anything on my channel that you like, make sure before you leave you subscribe. You do that by hitting that red button below and hitting the bell next to it so you're notified when I do upload future videos, you guys. So today I'm actually going to be doing my 2018 handbags / accessories that I sold and why. And I'm going to be kind of showing you a few bags that are in my collection currently, which kind of for me justifies why I sold certain things, which you don't need no justification anyway. You know, you sell it because for whatever reason, or some of the items I didn't necessarily sell, I gifted them. So I'll just be kind of going through and talking about that. So they're in no particular order. I have about 6 or 7 different items I want to talk to you guys about. I wrote the majority of them down, so I'll have to remember the other ones. But, you know, essentially, we'll talk about as far as each one of these items, like why I sold them, you know, when I bought them. And so you can kind of get an idea. And basically the purpose of this video, you guys, is to kind of, you know, and give you just a little bit of information as far as, you know, you might see a lot of things on social media as far as, oh, you got to have this bag or you got to have this in your collection. But the truth of the matter is everything doesn't work for everybody. So don't get caught up in the YouTube hype. Don't get caught up in social media out here broken things. So, you know, certain things you have to be honest with yourself that you just don't need it. And truth be told, like there's maybe one item on this list that I actually regret buying, but the rest of them were good learning experiences. I mean, even that particular item was a good learning experience because you don't necessarily know until you try it. And then when you try it, you can honestly say, absolutely not, that doesn't work for me. So just want to put that out there. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started, you guys. So the first item I'm going to talk about is probably, I would say, because I'm probably going to do a video as far as best purchases of 2018, something along those lines. We'll see. But the first one I'm going to talk about, I would say, was my best purchase of 2018. Unfortunately, I no longer have it in my collection. And as you all may well know, I'll insert a picture of it and you can see it in probably a good many of my prior videos, which is my Louis Vuitton Palm Springs mini backpack. And so I bought that bag in May of this year from the Charleston, South Carolina Louis Vuitton boutique. Went in there with my best friend and her brother. They visited me for Memorial Day weekend. I happened to ask them, hey, do you guys have a Palm Springs mini? They said that they had one that had just come in. I looked at it. I was like, okay, like I really do kind of like this bag. Fit some of my items in there and I went ahead and bought it. I had no plans to buy that bag and then I went ahead and bought it. And like really I had just literally really have been developing an interest in that bag because before I had no interest in purchasing that bag. So I purchased the bag. I had it for a while, loved it, used it for travel, used it for daily use. Probably one of my most used bags, I would say, of this year, and the year's not even out. And again, keeping in mind, I got the bag at the end of May, but probably easily one of my most used bags of the year. So essentially, I've talked about this in a few videos. What happened was I noticed some peeling around the canvas when you zip and unzip the bag. Took it to Louis Vuitton. They deemed the bag to be defective. Told me they can order a new one, but had no idea of when it would come in because the bag is sold out everywhere. So had to make a decision, and there had been another bag that I've been looking at. And so that bag is this one here that I showed in a few of my videos, which is my new Louis Vuitton Clapton backpack. So I would say that the Louis Vuitton Palm Springs mini was my best buy of 2018 because it was definitely the most used, most loved. If I had not had any problems with that bag, I would have still had it in my collection because I absolutely love the bag. I just love the carefree use of it, crossbody. It could be a backpack. It just was so cute to me and it was so versatile. So I really like this bag too because it's cute in a different way. I feel like it's more ladylike and classy, not as casual, more dressy, but it is a backpack as well. Damier bean print, and it has this leather on the top in 2 different tones, ivory and tan. And you see the attachments on the back where you can use it as a backpack, but I carry it right now crossbody. So, Yeah, like it's been an adjustment with this particular bag. I haven't used it that often because I'm just kind of switching out from my Louis Vuitton Neverfull GM to this bag. So, you know, I'm just now kind of getting used out of this bag. But thus far, I really like it. I like the opening. I like how much I can fit into it. So I can fit more in this bag than I can fit in my Palm Springs Mini. So, but I would still say, I would say if I had the choice, I would have both in my collection. Definitely the Best Buy, and definitely, you know, when it came to as far as retaining its value, like, you know, essentially Louis Vuitton credited me the amount of the bag and then, you know, added the difference with this bag because this bag does retail for more than the Louis Vuitton Palm Springs Mini. But the difference as far as the retail price and what I had to pay for this particular bag was $73. So I would say that was my best purchase as far as use and best as far as, you know, retaining its value in order for me to get a brand new bag. So that's the first item we'll talk about. And if you guys have any questions about any of the items I'm talking about here, make sure you comment below as well. If there's something you have a question about and I don't mention. But yeah, the Louis Vuitton Palm Springs Mini is the first item. RIP, I miss you. I would add you to my collection again in the future because you were so awesome. However, if Louis Vuitton keep raising them prices, you know, that's our farewell. We ain't gonna see each other ever again. But it was nice to know you, Palm Springs Mini. So the next bag we'll talk about, and again, I'm gonna be inserting pictures, and if I can find the picture of my bag, I will, but if not, I'll just insert a picture of the bag from the website or what have you. But the next bag is the J. Crew Signet Bag. I bought this bag back in November 2016, so it actually was about 2 years ago now I bought the bag. And essentially I bought the bag because that's kind of when I was, you know, again, getting into luxury and seeing a lot of videos about different bags that were out. And so I noticed that there were a lot of videos about the Gucci Soho Disco. And so I was kind of on the fence about it. I really liked the aesthetic of the Gucci Soho Disco, but I didn't like the price tag. I was like, okay, I don't know if I would want to pay that much money for this particular bag. Maybe because I didn't know if I would get a lot of use out of it. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I should look at getting something of a similar style that's going to be cheaper. And that's where the J. Crew Signet Bag came in. It looks very similar to the Gucci Soho Disco. It has a few more bells and whistles, and then you can get the bag monogrammed or personalized however you choose. So that is what I did. I got my initials on that bag because I didn't expect to ever sell it. But yeah, such is life. Probably because I sold the bag back in May. So probably within that time frame from November 2016 all the way through May of 2018, which is again when I sold the bag, I probably used it maybe 5 times. So I didn't get much use out of it at all. I don't really know why. And I'm really glad because I bought that bag. I now know that a Gucci Soho Disco just ain't. It's just not in the cards for me. I don't have a desire for that bag any longer. It's cute, but it's just not for me, just based on having that particular bag. But the bag that I did happen to get that is very similar to the J. Crew and the Gucci Soho Disco, but it just worked better for me and my lifestyle and what I like in bags. And you've seen this bag before. This is the dust bag. So it's not a quote unquote luxury bag, but it is considered like a high street bag. And it is a Tommy Hilfiger bag, limited edition, or special edition, however you want to say it. But it is the Tommy Hilfiger Gigi Hadid box bag, I think. Bucket bag. No, it's not bucket. It would be like a box bag. So it came with this little bag charm here. Again, I believe this bag came out in 2016. It was limited edition, so completely sold out. It took me a while to track down this bag. I happened to see somebody on YouTube had this bag. Thought it was really, really cute. And so ended up tracking it down February of this year. And so ended up getting it for a really good price. And so I went ahead and purchased the bag. I've used it quite a few times since then. I just think this is a really nice bag because it's understated. It's Tommy Hilfiger, so it's not like a preposterous amount of money. And you know, it's like, again, it's just a very simple, versatile bag though, because, you know, it's very big on the interior. I'll show you that. And the strap is on the inside. It's got pockets on both sides that you could use. And it zips all the way down, but it has this like little accordion gusset here so your things don't fall out from the side. You know, it's got a little bit of hardware. It's got feet on the bottom, but it's a very sturdy bag. It's like the pebbled leather. But what I really liked about it is that it had this top handle, and with this top handle, you can actually wear it in the crook of your arm. So that's what I really liked about this particular bag as well, because there was more than one way to just wear it and use it. Unlike the Gucci Soho Disco, where you could really only wear it on the shoulder or crossbody, this bag you could actually carry top handle, which I think makes it look, you know, just a little cooler, a little more classy, in my opinion. So, and then this one definitely did not break the bank. This is, yeah. Like, this is, I feel like this bag, what I paid for it, fits with anybody's budget. So, yes. This was the second bag that I bought that essentially for me replaced the J. Crew Signet bag. And I sold that bag on eBay back in May, and the girl who purchased it, like, it was just so heartwarming to me because she bought the bag for her mother for Mother's Day. And, you know, I had my initials on the bag, so I didn't think that it would necessarily sell. And I was like, so I was just happy to get an offer. But she said that her mother's initials were the exact same initials that I have. So that was just even better. It was even sweeter, and especially since she was getting it for her mom for Mother's Day. So that was a really great sale. I took a loss on that bag, of course, but I was glad to recuperate anything from it, to be real honest. So the next item, which is not a handbag, but it is, or it was, you know, a luxury item that I had in my collection. It was the Chanel, it was like a Chanel Vintage Agenda. I don't know what it was actually called, so I just call it the Chanel Vintage Agenda. If I can find a picture of mine, I'll insert it again, but if not, I'll find one online and I'll insert it for you. I bought this Agenda 2016, just because, again, I've seen people talking about the Louis Vuitton agendas, and I really wanted something Chanel though, and so I did locate one on eBay, and basically the agenda that I found is equivalent to the Louis Vuitton MM agenda, so I did purchase that one, and, you know, got a good deal on it, I felt like, anyway, something I was willing to pay anyway, and then got inserts for the agenda through Etsy. The problem was I did use the agenda, but the problem for me was just that I have very big handwriting, and so, you know, when you have multiple things that, you know, I like a monthly calendar, we'll just say that. I like a monthly calendar when you have multiple things that occur on the same day. Like, there's just no way. Like, I just write too big. So the medium-sized Chanel agenda did not fit my needs. And so, and then I ended up learning about, which is, you know, what I'm using now to, you know, refer to my notes. I learned about the Erin Condren Life Planner, which definitely is a sufficient size. It has tabs for every month. This calendar is called the Life Planner. It goes all the way through December of 2019. So, and it has stickers, it has note pages, it has very like sufficient size months that you can write on. So like this is December. Like, look at them spaces. And then it has like little space on the side too that you can write on. So I just felt like this was going to be better for my life. It cost like $60, you know, all together with shipping, handling, and taxes. And then it came with like a lot of goodies and a lot of extra stickers and things with it. So it was, for me, a good deal. I sold the agenda for a really good price on eBay. And so I took a little bit of a loss, but if I would have sold it to a consignment place, because I did check consignment first, it would have been a major, major loss. But probably my loss was like $50, which I'm absolutely okay with for using an agenda for almost 2 years. So that was another item that didn't work for me. I needed a bigger one, and so I'm glad that I did happen to get this one. I really like these planners, and I definitely would invest in getting another one once, you know, January 2020. So the next item we'll talk about is my Louis Vuitton Bosphore backpack, in which you guys probably don't know, I've talked about that backpack in some of my videos. I did own the Louis Vuitton Bosphore backpack. I recently sold that, I think September is one. Yeah, I sold it in September. And basically I had the backpack, when did I buy it? Let me look at my notes, you know, because that's why I got notes. I purchased the Bosphore backpack May of last year, May of 2017, because I bought it in preparation for my trip to go to London, England, because I wanted a backpack. I wanted a nice, sturdy backpack to go to London with. And so I've been seeing videos about the Bosphore backpack. Really like that backpack more than the Montsouris backpack, because the Bosphore backpack had really two very big exterior pockets, and then it also has like a little zipper pocket on the front, and then it has a side zipper compartment where you can fit a good bit of stuff in. When I went to London, I fit my passport, important documents in that side compartment. The two front pockets, I would fit, you know, lotion, lipstick, pens, whatever I needed. So really loved that backpack, but I felt like I loved the exterior of the backpack more than I actually loved the interior, because the interior for me wasn't all that big. So I did use that backpack a good many times. I used it like every day I was in London last year, which was like for 11 days we were there. And then I used it for work as my work bag at times as well. But I found that the backpack was like very heavy with not a lot of items inside of the backpack. And then I have like a work computer, and my work computer, you know, it's not like a MacBook Air. It's a sufficient size computer. And by the time I would put in my laptop and then my charging cord, all the space is gone halfway. Like, so it's like I carry more than this for work. So, you know, again, the exterior pockets I love more so than the interior. Because actually the bag that I have in my collection that I was thinking about, that I was like, well, this bag fits more than the Bosphore backpack, and I have it here in my dust bag because it's not in use currently, but my Louis Vuitton Noe, which I've talked about in a video as well. This is the very first bag in my, you know, luxury collection. Got it from eBay. But like, essentially, if you look at the base of the Noe, like, this is a very big bag. It's a bucket bag. But I would say like the Bosphore, the base of the Bosphore is probably like half of this. It's probably like from where my hand is up, you know? So you really can't fit a whole lot inside. But again, like I said, it had, you know, two big pockets on the outside and then one, like, you know, sufficient pocket on the side. But if I'm looking to fit a good amount of items, like, this bag is going to be better for me. It has all the vachetta on the bag, of course, but, you know, it's all going to go back to dust and dirt anyway. Like, not that I'm going to mistreat any of my items, but at the same time, I still want to get good use of them. So the good thing about the Bosphore backpack is it does not, of course, have as much vachetta leather as this bag does, but this bag fits a good bit more than the Bosphore backpack. You can't wear it as a backpack, but it does have this really thick strap that makes it super comfortable when you wear it. Cause like, I fill this bag to the brim with heavy stuff. I filled it with iPads, with Bibles, with all kind of stuff. And it's heavy, but it's not as heavy as like what another bag would be, because the strap is so thick and it feels so good on the shoulder. So yep, that's kind of what I have in my collection that I would say is similar and for me better than the Bosphore backpack. So that was a really good sale though, that Bosphore backpack, because I bought that backpack on eBay, and I, you know, that backpack retailed, because it's no longer sold at Louis Vuitton, but the backpack retailed like for over $2,000 like at Louis Vuitton if you would have bought it, you know, while it was in production in the store. On eBay, they have different prices, again, because, you know, the backpack is no longer in production, but I happened to get the backpack for under $1,000 when I got it from eBay. Then when I sold it, I actually sold the backpack to Fashion File. They gave me like $150 more than what I paid for it, which I think is a success. That has never happened, especially like going through Fashion File or any consignment. Like, yeah. And then the bag had like a slight defect. There was a slight tear in the leather, but yeah, Fashion File took that bag and they gave me more than what I paid for it. So that was success. So yes, that was definitely a great buy. I got good use of that bag, you know, again, like the Palm Springs Mini. So backpacks in my mind are winning with Louis Vuitton. So yeah, I got really good use from that backpack, used it for, you know, a lot of different times, then sold it and got more than what I paid for it. So, you know, that's not every bag, of course, but it was, in that case, you know, with the Palm Springs Mini, again, Louis Vuitton deemed it to be defective. I hadn't had it for that long, so I got the same amount that it was worth as far as applied to the new backpack that I now have. And then with the Bosphore backpack, I got more than what I paid for it. So backpacks, yes. So the next two items, kind of similar. So I'm gonna just kind of group those together. But one item that I actually gave away back in May, I gave away my Louis Vuitton Speedy 35 in the Monogram, and I love that bag. And I've talked about that bag before, but essentially that bag was, I bought that bag 2016 November, and that bag was made in 1984. And that's the year I was born, and that's why I purchased that bag. And I really love the Speedy 35 in the monogram. Not so much in the Damier Ebene I found, but I love it in the monogram. I love the sagginess of it. I love the vintage look of it, the one that I had. My mom wanted that bag. She was eyeballing that bag. She kept bothering me about that bag, so I gave her that bag. So I gave her that bag. She wanted the bag. You know, it's still a very beautiful bag. I got a good price for it through eBay, and I love that bag, and I'm glad that she is now using it. She now loves it. It was one of her Mother's Day gifts, so yep, that's the bag that she got. Also, I had another bag in my collection, Louis Vuitton Speedy Bandolier 35. Also the same size as the monogram one that I gave to my mother, but I had the Speedy B in that one. I sold that one. That's my most recent sale. I sold that one like 2 weeks ago. And I bought that bag February of 2017 as a Valentine's Day gift to myself. Had used that bag pretty frequently, but it just got to a point where, especially when I start buying smaller bags and learning how to downsize my items, I just no longer had a use for the Speedy B35 or really the Speedy 35 anyway. So I wasn't like heartbroken when I had to give my 35 to my mother, because I had already been downsizing my bags anyway. But like, yeah, it just got to a point with the Speedy B35, I just couldn't even stand to look at it. Like, I was just like, it needs to leave. Like, it needs to leave my collection. Like, it needs to leave. So happily sold the Speedy B35 and the Damier Ebene. I just felt like it started looking like luggage. Like in the monogram, for some reason, it looks good. It looks like a nice, beautiful slouchy bag, but in the Damier Ebene, it just looked oversized to me. So yeah, went ahead and sold that bag. Took a bit of a loss on it, which happens, but I was glad to get, you know, a good bit of the money that I did pay for it back. And so very happy sale. I'm very happy that I sold that one. And in my collection, I don't have another bag that's, you know, similar necessarily. When I think about the size of the bag, I feel like my Louis Vuitton Noe kind of fits the bill. You could probably fit about the same amount in there, but of course that bag doesn't have a zipper. But I kind of feel like the Speedy B, I don't feel bad about the Speedy B because I still have like my Keepall 50 bandolier in my collection, which is somewhat similar to, you know, the Speedy B, except of course this is a luggage piece and it's a, you know, size 50 as opposed to the 35 is like a handbag. So, and I bought this bag, you know, to go to London with. This bag has been to London, it's been to Florida, it's been to Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, it's been everywhere. So that's what I do love about this bag. I thought about selling this bag when I got back from London, but I've used it way too much now. Like, I absolutely love it. It's in beautiful condition. And so, yes, so that's what I have in my collection. I don't feel bad about the Speedy because I still have my Keepall, which is still a classic. And it still, you know, is reminiscent of a Speedy in my opinion. So the next item, which I think is going to be the last sale item, that last item I sold, and I sold it back in April of this year. I actually bought the item, I want to say like around August of last year, and I'm referring to the Louis Vuitton Sac Sport. This, I would say on my list, was probably my worst buy and my worst sell. And essentially, you know, there's another person I subscribe to on YouTube, love her videos. And this is just kind of one of the examples to where you will see something on somebody else. They absolutely love it. Like, I know that bag for her is her favorite bag in her Louis Vuitton collection, or her collection in general, her one bag tag, her everything. She loves the Louis Vuitton Sac Sport. And so I really love the fact that the bag was unique looking. I hadn't seen anything like it. And of course, in my mind, I'm like, oh, okay, I can use this bag going to the gym. I can use it when I'm packing and going places. Like, it's a bag that has a soft top and a hard bottom. So in the bottom, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. You can fit shoes or, you know, certain things you want separated from the top portion of the bag. So I did use that bag as a gym bag. I used it for, like, I did use it when I went to Houston, Texas last year. But let me tell you about this bag. And I noticed it when I got it, but I thought I could work through it. But the bag is extremely heavy. Like, people say the Chanel Jumbo is heavy, and that's why they don't like the Jumbo. That bag, listen, look at some of these vintage Louis Vuitton bags that are probably made of a pure wooden oak tree. Them bags are heavy. Like, that Louis Vuitton Sac Sport is heavy, and I think it's actually a men's bag, and which it probably explains it because it's so heavy. So I did use that bag again to go to Houston, Texas last year, and it was torture. Like, the bag again was heavy. And so, you know, maybe you out there, you got a boo, you got a significant other, you got a man that will carry your bags for you. Honey, it's me, myself, and I. Right, for this moment, for this season of life, no, I don't have anybody to carry my bag, so I gotta be looking around whatever I bring with me. And so it's like the bag by itself, again, like I said, it's heavy, so you don't have to put a lot of items in there to make it heavy. You know, like the Neverfull GM or the Neverfull in general is a light bag. So it only gets heavy because of what you put in it. Now that bag is structurally heavy. And so I bought the bag from eBay, paid a little bit under $500 for it from eBay, vintage, used. Then I took that bag I used it a few times. Then I went on the trip to Houston, Texas last year, and the bag just seemed like after that it fell apart. Grommets came out of the bag. The zipper broke. I took the bag to Louis Vuitton to see what it would cost to repair it. They told me that essentially they no longer, since, you know, the bag is vintage, they no longer make the bag, that they could not replace the zipper. And they said, well, maybe we could do the grommets, but we'd have to take out the lining to do the grommets. So we don't even know if we could do that repair for you. And if we did, it probably would cost a lot more than what the bag is worth. So they told me that they would call me and let me know an amount for the repair. Never called. So I went ahead and sold the bag to Fashion File. Probably got maybe 30 to 40% of what I paid for it. So that was a major loss in my opinion, because Fashion File, no other consignment place would take it because the bag was damaged. Fashion File took, you know, did offer me an amount for the bag, but they only offered that amount to sell it through their outlet store, not through their actual website. But I was just glad to get something from it, recuperate something from that purchase. But that bag was absolutely horrible for me. Like, that is the one bag I would say I regret, if anything. But you know, and it taught me a valuable lesson. Like, you can't get caught up in the hype of, like, you know, just because, you know, and it's not necessarily hype, but it's the fact that sometimes something is like somebody's holy grail. It works perfectly for them, but it will not work for you in your lifestyle. So again, the fact of the matter is, like, when I travel, when I go places, like, I just don't like to be carrying very heavy, weighty stuff. And then the bag doesn't have a strap either. So if it had a strap, that would be one thing, but you have to hand carry it. Absolutely not. Would not recommend that bag for anybody. Definitely did not work for me. Worst purchase ever. So, but it was a learning experience. So, you know, you have to be, I'm very mindful now when I look at certain things and look at certain bags, and I really have to look at what my bag identity is right now. Like, what type of bags do I like? Does this bag fit within that identity? Is it something that, you know, because your identity is, you know, can shift over time, but is it something that, you know, can fit into what I'm trying to do right now in my life? So if not, then don't try to fit it in. Don't try to do that. So that's what happened with the Sac Sport. The last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, because that's the last thing on my list, but I did want to kind of come back to you guys about, because I did my video, which a lot of people watched and responded to, which thank you very much. And let me pull this back a little bit, because I know certain items y'all probably couldn't see that I talked about. But I did do the video about the Louis Vuitton Neverfull GM and is it practical. I wore this bag every single day for the past month of October, essentially. And, you know, I'm talking about this bag now, too, because we're talking about items I've sold in 2018. And so I told you guys in that video I was thinking about selling this bag. And getting like a Longchamp pliage. But when I looked at like videos as far as like wear and tear over time, a lot of people said if you use that bag like on a daily or a regular basis, you probably would have to replace it. Like, I think a rough estimate was like every 2 years, and the bag retails for like $150 to $200 depending, you know. So I just thought about the fact that Louis Vuitton is now going through price increases and going up. and I know that this bag is gonna last. Like, it's already like 4 or 5 years old. I've had it for 2 years. You know, and with the price increases and all, I just feel like this bag is more sturdy than probably a Longchamp. That's just my personal opinion, just from the videos that I saw, the things that I researched and looked at. So at this time, yeah, we're gonna keep putting my collection. It really wasn't that bad to carry this bag as a work bag and as a primary bag for an entire month. I even carried it to like church on Sunday, which I was really nervous and apprehensive about, but it really worked out. So I might do that again in the future. So we'll see. But yeah, my Neverfull GM, which is actually the bag that I saw that started my love of Louis Vuitton, in the Damier being like this very bag. And it's funny, I was thinking of selling this very bag, but no, I'm gonna keep her. So yep, that's pretty much it, you guys. So if you have any questions about anything I've mentioned in this video, if you have any questions about items I've sold, you know, again, like, just to try to get more perspective about it, please let me know and comment below. But that's pretty much it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of long, but I do appreciate you being patient and listening to what I had to say about these particular items that I sold, why I sold them, and the items that I have in my collection that I feel like, you know, semi replaces them, and you know, that I'm content with for at this moment in time. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you also share this with anyone else who's thinking about purchasing, you know, any of the bags I've talked about that I sold, you know, to give them a little bit more perspective about those particular items, and, you know, another opinion doesn't hurt. And so also make sure you, before you leave, you do subscribe to my channel. Again, you do that by hitting that red button below and hitting the bell next to it so you're notified when I do upload future videos. And you guys, I will see you in my very next video. I appreciate you watching. Bye, guys.